Hi Box, my name is John and today we have a very special gaming machine here for review. It has a GTX 980 video card from NVIDIA, a 1TB hard disk drive, an Intel Core i7 6th generation Skylake processor, 64 gigs of RAM, and most importantly, a water cooling solution. Now many of you are probably thinking, John has a very expensive yet very run-of-the-mill gaming desktop. Well, you're right in one of those things. It is a very expensive gaming machine, but it's not a desktop. This is an ASUS GX700VO notebook from the Republic of Gamers sub-brand of the company, and it's the first notebook in the world to actually have a water cooling solution. Now, we've actually had the honor of actually using this particular notebook for around 2 or 3 weeks now, and we've been playing all of the games that we have in our Steam account. And spoiler alert, we're going to be gushing over it for the next 6 to 7 minutes. So join us as we review the GX700VO from ASUS for the Republic of Gamers brand. The GX700VO borrows heavily from the design of another ROG product, the GX752. The lid of the GX700 is made out of solid aluminum with a large ROG logo in the middle flanked by 2 LED strips on the side. ASUS tries to give passers-by and curious onlookers a glimpse of the monster within with the overall design of GX700, and they've succeeded. More than a few onlookers approached us when we actually took the monster out of our backpack during our various trips abroad in past weeks, which says something about the overall design of the product. The overall color scheme of GX700VO is now aluminum with a few dashes of copper with a few splashes of red thrown in strategic areas like the keyboard and ROG logo. The back of the GX700VO utilizes a design that closely resembles the rear of modern Lamborghinis. Right smack dab in the center are the ports for the power cable and the water cooling dock. The GX700VO is around 3.6 kilos without the dock. Obviously, its sheer size makes traveling with it a challenge, though it can be done. You just need a strong back and a sturdy backpack. We've been lugging the thing around with us in 2 trips abroad, and while it is a bit heavier than our usual notebook, it's not impossible to use on the move. Once you open the lid of the GX700VO, you'll see a large 17.3-inch Full HD IPS display along with the spacious full QWERTY keyboard. There's plenty of real estate on the keyboard of the GX700VO owing to its large size, so much so that there's a row of 5 macro keys on the top of it for custom assignments. There's even a quick launch video recording button right beside those macro keys so you can record gameplay footage whenever you want. The trackpad on the bottom is large and generous, but true PC gaming is done with a mouse. That's why ASUS throws in an ROG Sika mouse in package as well for mobile gaming. While the mouse is a bit on the small side, it's still better than nothing. Those true gamers will probably chuck that mouse and get something more substantial. There are multiple ports and connectors for the GX700VO, which include 3 USB 3.0 ports, one with fast charging capabilities, a USB Type-C port, a Thunderbolt port, HDMI, and a display port. There's also space for an SD card reader as well as connectors for both audio in and out. We love the fact that the GX700VO has multiple USB ports, both the old USB 3.0 standard and Type-C, which means that the notebook is future-proof for the next few years. But the real appeal of the GX700VO, aside from the monster specs, is its water cooling capability. That's taken care of by the water cooling module that you plug the notebook into. The water cooling dock looks kind of like an oversized bug. To connect the GX700VO to it, you just have to put the notebook on the pegs on the module, line up the 2 chevrons on the module of the notebook, and press down hard on the lever to connect. Once connected, you'll need to utilize the bigger power brick instead of the smaller one that's included for travel. Once everything is connected, you can then overclock the GX700VO to your heart's content. There's a little bit of residual coolant that's left on the GX700VO when you detach it from the dock, which accounts for some of the weight of the notebook. Because of the size and complexity of the notebook, ASUS is throwing in a hard case for the GX700VO, which can fit the notebook, water cooling dock, and all the other accoutrements that come with it, which is pretty nice. The GX700VO comes in both Full HD and 4K variants, though our review unit was a mere Full HD panel. Colors are bright, crisp, and detailed, and the panel has excellent viewing angles. There's some backlight bleed at several points in the bottom and sides of the panel, but it's only noticeable when you start up the notebook or when the screen is totally black. We're a little bit disappointed that we got a full HD variant for the review, as the notebook has more than enough juice to drive a higher resolution display. The GX700VO is armed with an NVIDIA GTX 980 desktop class GPU that has 8GB of VRAM, Intel quad-core 2.7 GHz i7 6820 HK 6th generation Skylake processor, 64GB of RAM, and 1TB hard disk drive. Those specs are more than enough for most games out in the market right now, including several highly anticipated games like Tom Clancy's The Division. Almost every game that we tried with the GX700VO ran super smooth at close to or on 60 frames per second. Nothing slowed down, and everything just defaulted to extreme or high settings while we were using it. So where does the water cooler come in? Well, if you want to squeeze every bit of performance from the GX700VO, and trust us, you do, you'll have to attach the water cooler when you use it. The notebook's GTX 980 video card throttles down performance to a GTX 980M when it's not attached. The water cooling dock also acts like an instant overclocker, and ASUS claims that with the dock on, you'll get around 43% better performance out of the GPU, 48% better performance with the CPU, and 31% higher performance with the RAM. While it doesn't really make much of a difference when you're actually playing games on full HD displays, if you want to connect the GX700VO to a higher resolution display, you'll want to use it docked. There is a large performance gap with and without the dock, as you can see in benchmark tests done with 3D Mark. The first Firestrike Ultra benchmark without the dock plugged in gave us a score of around 2,475, while a second run with the dock plugged gave us a higher score of 3,092 points. As far as performance goes, the GX700VO is a beastly machine that can run any games at extreme settings with no problems. Just like with other ROG notebooks, ASUS also throws in a couple of applications to enhance your gaming experience. ROG Gaming Center gives you an idea of how hot and fast the GX700VO is running, as well as setting several profiles depending on what you're playing. There is an XSplit Gamecaster app that allows you to stream or record your games into the interwebs if that's your thing. How about the rest of the notebook? Well, the keyboard feels wonderful to type on and has plenty of travel and spacing, which isn't a surprise considering the sheer size of the device. The speakers are loud and put out a fair amount of volume. The included mouse is okay, but as we mentioned earlier, you'd want to sprint for a dedicated gaming mouse if you're serious about PC gaming. Surely a gaming notebook like the GX700VO has a battery endurance that's comically short, right? Not exactly. As we found out in our travels, the GX700VO is capable of running more than an hour unplugged with just browsing and office work, which is more than we can say for another gaming rig that we reviewed a few weeks ago. The notebook also doesn't drop frames even when you're gaming without being plugged in, though obviously your battery endurance is going to go down faster than No Noise approval rating after his veto. You wouldn't want to use it as your primary traveling notebook, but it can hold its own if needed. Truth to be told, many people won't see the appeal in the GX700VO. It's not a practical notebook by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not supposed to be a practical machine. It's an expression of the engineering prowess of ASUS, much like how a Michelangelo is an expression of Lamborghini's technical mastery. Both are impractical as hell, but both are insanely fun to use and own. While we don't know the price of the GX700VO, it'll easily surpass 6-digit numbers. And honestly, we wouldn't be surprised if it was priced at a $250,000 pesos, maybe more. But a true gaming aficionado wouldn't mind. Much like an owner of a Murcielago, all he cares about is performance, something that GX700VO has in spades. So that has been our full review of the GX700VO. We probably didn't go to overclocking the notebook and stuff like that, but it's really very highly technical. We'll probably do another video for that. No promises, but we're gonna try and find someone smarter than us to actually do the entire overclocking thing. And pretty much try to explain what overclocking does and what you can actually do with this particular notebook for that. So, price. ASUS hasn't actually told us about the price, as we actually told you in the video. We don't know how much this will cost, but you know the saying, if you have to ask. So anyway, if you like that video, please like, subscribe, comment down below if you have any other questions. Look for us in Facebook. I have the links down below. Don't look for me, look for Unbox on Facebook. Give us a like, subscribe. If you like this video, please share it with your friends, your frenemies, your actual enemies, people like that. So anyway, John here. Peace out.